Everyone, I'm going to go over a series of screencasts. I'm going to try to keep them as brief as possible so you can just grab the content or the information rather that you need and then kind of keep moving on. As you know, the site is URL of the site is dcinsideout.com, and obviously right now you're just navigating the site as anyone would visiting the site. In order to access the back end, all you do is you do a /wp-admin and hit enter, and that will take you to your login area. So here's where you would enter your username and password, and I'm going to go over how you would create an account. So let's look at the back admin panel. Here on the dashboard, I've really minimized the information that you need to see. And before actually turning this over to you, I'm going to hide a lot of these other menu options that are not really relevant to your everyday use, so that you don't inadvertently, I guess in a sense, touch something that isn't applicable to what you're trying to do, like add new content or photos or blog posts, etc. So this is your main dashboard, and soon to be here will be a Google Analytics viewer that kind of gives you your analytics overview. Here you'll see your forms, in other words, the people that are sending you messages through the individual place form that we have there. And you'll be able to see other activity like recent posts and, of course, recent comments if you decide to have this on. Now, this isn't going to be like an intensive overview of WordPress because there's plenty of posts and screencasts out there doing that. My goal isn't to teach you how to use WordPress, it's to teach you how to do what you need to do to accomplish what you need to accomplish. Okay, so I kind of made a quick list here of what I'm going to go over. Right now in this screencast, we're going to do the login to the admin panel and user accounts. And the next one, all these will be separate screencasts, so let's get right to it. When you log in, of course, it'll tell you your name up here. You can hover over, edit your profile, or log out. The profile is not a lot to it. Just kind of shows you your username. You can add your first name, last name, a nickname, a display name. This will be how your name is displayed publicly. So if you're posting blog posts, this is the way your name will be displayed. Essentially picks between your nickname and your username or first name, last name. Email is required. So at this right here, you would put your CB Move email and then a little information about yourself. And this is where you would come to update your password. And then you would always have to click update profile to save that. Now, when I went through this little menu, edit my profile, log out, it basically just took me to the users tab. Now, if we were to go back to the dashboard where we were just at, and the highlighted gray indicates what area you're at, we would just come down to users. You could use the flyout menu, or you could just click users and it becomes kind of like a drop-down menu or an expanded menu. So I've added Carolina already, and the naming convention that I'm using, and we can go through this by adding a new user right up here or right from the menu. See, it just takes you to that sub menu. You would enter username, and the naming convention was basically first initial of the first name and then complete last name. So I'm not going to actually enter Tim as a user. You guys can do this at this point, especially with Carolina. I'll set up an account for Kevin as well, but then I want you guys to have the practice of adding users. Mainly a user, and you'll get to see their roles down here after you enter their username, their email, their first name, last name, a password which is required, and then you want to click this to send this password to the new user by email. So whoever you end up adding as a user, you let them know their username and password. Then they can come in the way I just showed you by going to their profile. Once they log into their account, they would go to their profile, and there they could update their password to change it to something else. Roles is important because administrator basically has all the admin rights. So depends who needs to have all the admin rights. An editor is just someone that can edit posts. An author is just someone that can post posts and write posts. And then, of course, a contributor, I believe, has that same those same rights as well. They can just kind of write a post, and I don't even think they can publish the post. They can kind of save it there, and then an author and editor would come and review it and then publish it themselves. But we'll get to that when we get to the actual post area. So this is essentially how you would add a new user and give them their role of permissions. Aside from that, is there anything else I really wanted to go over? Login, admin panel, user accounts. That's it. So I just want to keep this one brief, and we'll move on to the next topic.